No. Let's try something else. Hit it, Joe.
Three idiots sharing memories with fans who watched the show. It's the best of both our worlds.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Best of Both Our Worlds, the official, unofficial Hannah Montana podcast, the show where three idiots share our memories of the show with the fans so they get a chance to see the other side of the best damn Disney show ever. I am one of your hosts. I'm Jason Earls. I played Jackson Rod Stewart on the show.
I'm Shannon Flynn. I was the director on Hannah Montana and the acting coach.
And I am Douglas Dangerly Blind. I was one of the writers and co-executive producer of that little show called Hannah Montana.
The Hannah Banana. I love it. So like we do in every episode now, before we jump into our little babao sweet niblets, we just want to shout you guys all out for the incredible comments and questions and all of the support that you've given us online. You guys are so funny. Literally, like, you're either making us cry with your heartfelt comments or you're making us giggle with your silly little comments. But it is very, very fun. So we are going to do our Hannah Montana spotlight and shout out a few of our favorite fan comments.
Okay, I've got the first one, which is from somebody. I don't know who this is. Mitchell Musso? Hey, Mitch! And Mitchell Musso left a comment on Instagram which said, Peterman for Prezi.
That was a response to when we had Steve Peterman, the executive producer on the show. Incredible episode. If you haven't checked it out, you should definitely watch it. Everybody loves Peterman.
Yeah,
and,
if you want to know the good origin story of Hannah Montana, he's the person.
And I would vote for Steve for president.
I
would vote. I mean, having known him all these years, I would vote for him.
I would vote for his soul patch for president.
Wow.
That's, you know what I'm saying?
Seconded.
Yeah.
Ryan Marthaler. I like that. Ryan Marthaler left a comment on YouTube. Absolutely loved this episode. Also, don't be shy to give us like a 2 or 3 hour episode. I don't know if you've noticed, we are all old. We're doing this so that way we get our memories down before our minds just disappear. We do not have the stamina for 2 or 3 hour episodes.
Yeah,
I barely have the stamina for 2 or 3 minutes. So, okay, so MacOMG7169 left a comment on YouTube, and they said, "Oh my gosh, the way the podcast warms my heart, and it's so interesting and informative. Thank you, Mr. Peterman. Didn't know you were partially raising me." Aww. And just want to thank whoever ever worked on the show, who might be reading this or now listening to this. You really made the world a better place.
I think this was sweet. It's like a nice little shout out for like anybody who happens to be watching this that worked on the show, that's reading through the comments. A nice little shout out for anybody that participated in
Whoever
in the Hannah Bananas. Whoever ever worked on the show. I love it.
all 4 seasons. That's amazing.
It's perfect.
Hey, if you're thinking about the Hannah Montana Spotlight and you'd like to be a part of it, just leave a comment or review on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Morse code, send an owl.
I love that.
Wherever you are in the running. And we really do read all of those comments. And finally, please make sure to check out our website, bestofbothourworlds.com, for all of our videos, behind the scenes photos, giveaways, and merch.
Babao.
Merch. Doug is wearing a beautiful babao hoodie.
It's very comfy.
It is very comfy. That is a nice one. Hey, everybody. You know what this podcast is missing? It's a little bit more you. So if you would like to hang out with 3 idiots, go ahead and check out our website, Best of Both Our Worlds. Click the banner and find out how you can be a part of our True Friend Fridays.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we start with our, get into the meat of the show, let's do our little babao sweet niblets.
Yes.
Shani, what have you got?
Today we are discussing Good Golly, Miss Dolly. It was aired on September 29th, 2006. It was written by Sally Lapidus and directed by the amazing Roger Christensen.
Love Roger.
No main notable cast here. Zero.
No guest
Zilch.
cast at all.
You guys are silly.
No. It was a plain old episode.
Yep.
Nobody
Nothing
of
to see
any
here.
importance whatsoever.
Yeah, nothing special about this one.
Yeah.
And the title of the episode, Good Golly, Miss Dolly was a play on the 1958 rock and roll rule breaker Good Golly, Miss Molly, which was written by John, and I'll hopefully pronounce your name right, Mariscalco. And if I pronounce it wrong,
I love it. It's good.
Yeah.
you know, write in. Tell me I did it wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm sure. Or relatives.
Yeah.
Anyway, and it was also co-written by Robert Bumps Blackwell. That I know how to say. And it was performed by none other than Little Richard.
Little Richard.
My sweet niblet for today is a tease for the end of the episode. Shannon was pulling your leg. This was actually a really big episode. We had a very cool person on the show, Miss Dolly Parton. We all know that she is an absolute icon. It still kind of melts my brain that she actually was on the show.
Yeah.
Not just once, she multiple times we got Dolly on the show. But I'm not sure that some of our younger fans really understand how insane her career was. So at the end of the episode, I'm going to absolutely flood you with incredible Dolly facts that still barely scratches the surface about what this woman has achieved. I am absolutely going to give her her flowers.
Yes, please.
As she deserves.
As she deserves.
Now, this podcast episode, our little secret title, like we like to do, is entitled Diddly Doodly and the Girls. And you are going to soon find out what Diddly Doodly and the Girls is all about.
Yeah, baby.
I love it. Okay, so remind us what this episode was about.
For those of you who haven't watched recently, I suggest you do. It is a really good one.
Really
One
good.
of the best.
But for now, for this moment, here's a little synopsis. When Miley's Aunt Dolly comes to visit the Stewart household, she not only brings along her feminine charm, but also brings along her video camera to record some family moments. In an incredibly convenient snafu, it happens sometimes on TV.
Yeah.
Aunt Dolly accidentally leaves her camera on, and it records Miley confessing her secret crush on famous actor and classmate Jake Ryan.
Jake Ryan.
The
Dun,
Jake
dun,
Ryan.
dun. Things go sideways when Oliver accidentally grabs Aunt Dolly's camera, thinking it's his, and hands it off to Jake, who's editing a school video tribute to their retiring principal. Panicked that Jake will discover her secret, the fact she likes Jake, not her actual
Not the
secret.
actress.
Yeah. Good distinction.
Yeah, you know. Miley, Lily, and Aunt Dolly go into full Mission Impossible mode and sneak into the school's video editing room after hours to steal the tape back.
So good.
Yeah, so good. During the break-in, Miley encounters a series of slapstick mishaps, getting covered in cafeteria food, milkshakes, all that stuff. But they manage to retrieve the tape before Jake watches it. Nice. Hooray!
Hooray.
After successfully retrieving the tape, Miley, with Aunt Dolly's encouragement, builds up the courage to be honest with Jake and express her true feelings in person. However, before she can confess, Jake casually mentions that he started dating another girl in school named Rachel. Oh, no, he didn't.
Snap.
Devastated, Miley leaves without telling Jake she likes him. And in the end, Robbie and Aunt Dolly confront a heartbroken Miley on the couch. They sing an acoustic version of Hannah's Who Said to encourage her not to give up on love or herself.
Nice.
Meanwhile,
Here it comes.
Aunt Dolly gives the Stewart home a hyper-feminine pink and sparkly makeover.
Yep.
To the utter dismay of Robbie and Jackson, who go to extreme lengths to protect their manly essence.
Outstanding. I like this. Meanwhile, this is a fun one.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have refreshed our memories.
Yeah.
What this episode was about. What do you know about where this thing came from, and what is your behind-the-scenes dirt on? This?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a
fun one.
Let's start first with how this came about.
Okay.
This was, we knew where we were going in our little 3-episode Jake arc. And this was the culmination of that. The 3-episode Jake arc, as you all know, became a 4-episode Jake arc,
Yes.
which became a 13-episode Jake arc. So we got very lucky in that sense. But we knew that we wanted to make this episode end with her not getting the boy, right?
Right.
And we had this lesson about, being proactive, being honest, get what go after what you want, and sometimes it doesn't always work out.
True.
And as we talked about with Peterman, the idea of having her have a dead mom was all about, she has a real girl problem. She may be the biggest pop star on the planet. She may be aspirational and everybody wants to be her, but she still has problems.
Yeah.
So this episode was an episode we knew we were building to sort of that we're gonna give her a real problem. She may be Hannah Montana. She may be this incredible pop star, but she doesn't always get the guy, right? She doesn't always win. So we knew we were going there, and that's what we had intended to do. And then we ended up with this Dolly guest star thing that fell into our lap at the end of our, sort of 3-episode arc. So we just combined them together. We wanted to have Dolly have some fun. We wanted to have Dolly have that moment with her at the end, and we just it all sort of came together beautifully.
I don't know if we have this in the scripting place, actually. Now I'm just thinking about it. How did Dolly end up in the mix to be on the show? Do you address that later, or
no,
is that
no,
okay?
no.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about
actually, it was one of those moments where I don't know if it was Billy and Miley's original idea, or if it was our original idea that we went to Billy and Miley with. I don't remember the genesis.
And you guys knew that they had a pre-existing relationship with.
We knew that, and we knew we wanted to have her on, and she just fell into the week we were doing. We could have done this episode without her, and we had planned on doing this in our minds. It would have worked without it. But when she fell into that time slot, she was available this week, it was a boom. It was like, the Mission Impossible thing can be with her, not just her and Lily.
Yeah.
And that heartfelt moment on the couch can be her and Robbie and Aunt Dolly.
It's so much better.
It would
have been great the other way, our normal way, but it's so incredible that she's there for that.
Right. And it became sort of this wonderful mix where we ended up with this. It deepened the story in a way we never intended, which was unbelievably great for us. My other recollections of this story's genesis was there are moments in your life when things hit you and they stay with you. And one of them for me was when I was like 8 or 9 or whatever. I was like probably 8 years old, and I went to see Rocky. And the poster for Rocky, the tagline on the poster for the original Rocky was, his life was 1,000,000 to 1 shot, but he wanted to show the world that he was 1 in 1,000,000. Mm-hmm. And that stuck my whole life. And this idea here in this episode is Miley had 1,000,000 to 1 shot, and I want to be that one is an echo of that thing that carried with me my whole life. Like, if there's a 1 in 1,000,000 shot, it's the Dumb and Dumber thing. You're saying I have a chance, right? But it really did affect me early in my life that if there's a 1 in 1,000,000 shot, it means it's not impossible.
Yeah.
It means there is a shot.
Yeah.
So a piece of that story came from sort of my philosophy of life, which is if it can happen, take your shot. Someone wins.
And you actually bring that actually does come back remember when she has surgery.
Right.
And that comes back in the opposite way, which is when she says, but I was 1 in 1,000,000, because the idea that her surgery would affect her voice was a 1 in 1,000,000 shot. So she brings that back again, which is one of the things I love about our show.
Yeah.
Right. So in a weird way, we had talked about there's a little bit of Neil Diamond in Hannah Montana. There's also a little bit of Rocky Balboa in her, right? So it's as weird as it is, there is. I mean, we all are an amalgamation of our past and our lives. And the character of Hannah and Miley is that. So, all right. So that's the genesis of it.
Okay.
And now we get into another story time with Doug. This week presented probably the highest high and the lowest low of my time in Hollywood.
Okay.
We had talked about on previous podcasts sort of the 3-act telenovela drama that I had with Standards and Practices. This is Act 3. This is the culmination. This is the finale of that story. And remember, the first act was basically we saw her bra, and the second act was the what's the matter, your underwear too tight situation. And this is Act 3. And Act 3 begins in scene 1 of this episode, where Dolly comes in and knows something's up, and she says to Miley, I believe, something like, you named the dog Zippy because you're not giving me zip, or something like that, right? That original line was, because you ain't giving me diddly squat. And we wrote that line, and then on Monday we rehearsed, and then we got the note from Standards back. We got the email from Standards that basically said, it's normal, page 3, line 14, please revise diddly squat. And I write back, can you explain? Because I didn't know why, and I didn't want to change it laterally. I wanted to make a change.
Because diddly squat is a pretty well-known term.
I didn't think it was dirty,
squat.
right?
Yeah.
And the note we got back was, it contains the word diddle in it, and diddle means to masturbate.
Copy that.
Yeah, so... So we,
Okay.
you know what, we were, at that point, we had bigger fish to fry. It wasn't that big a deal. We said, we're just going to change it. Not going to argue.
Yeah.
So the next day, we changed it to Doodly Squad. Went down to stage, had our rehearsal, came back, got our email from Standards, and it said, page 3, line 14, please revise Doodly Squad. And I, of course, write my email back. Why? And my email back was, because doodle is a euphemism for penis. What? And, okay, so we looked it up. We had to look. We had to fact check.
Yeah.
In the 1920s.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
For about 3 years,
Right.
people in America called your penis a doodle. End of
Okay.
story.
Different time.
Different time.
Different time.
It was a different
We,
time.
in the writer's room, I kind of lost my shit. And I'm like, there's a show on Playhouse Disney called Doodle Bops. Strudel Doodle was the episode that was on. Does that mean it's called Penis Doodle?
Bops?
I mean, it was.
Yeah,
But I
Penis
said,
Bops.
you know what?
I mean,
Well, it is. It is the Penis Bops. It is,
Yeah, yeah.
really.
I mean, clearly.
Clearly. But you know what? We let it go.
Okay.
Just let it go. It's not that big a deal, right? So at the end of that night, what usually happens is we will do our rewrite. Sometimes we'll be there till about midnight or whatever. And one of the executive producers will proof the script. So everyone else goes home, and the writer's assistant and the person who drew the short straw will go through and make sure all the changes are done correctly. I drew the short straw that night. So we made sure, and sometimes we'll add in notes from the stage or the Standards.
Right,
as well.
right.
So that night, we did the proof, and Jay Demopoulos, our lovely writer's assistant who never forgets anything,
Yep.
looked at me and went, you still got to do Doodly Squad. And I was like, fuck. All right, you know what? It was 12:45 or 1 in the morning. We got to be back at 9 a.m. I said, look, we're back at 9 a.m. Run-through's not till like 1:30. We'll change it tomorrow morning. And we let it go. We get to run through the next day, and I have got my script, and we're ready for the first scene, which is that scene.
Yep.
And I look at Jay, and Jay looks at me, and we went, oh, shit, we forgot. No big deal. We're not shooting today. This is just the network
Right.
run through. We'll get past it. So we do the scene. This is the first day Dolly is on set.
Okay.
So this is the first day and everybody was there for that run through because it was Dolly's first day.
Yeah.
Right.
She gets to the line, you ain't giving me, and I'm like, oh, here it comes. And she's like, you ain't giving me Doodly Squad. Big laugh. And I'm like, shit. Because the last thing I wanted was for it to get a laugh because it drew attention to it. And our Standards person just goes, like, demonized right at me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, shit, okay. So the scene is over, and we are moving. We have like 2 minutes or a minute to move our director's chairs and everything to the next scene, which is, because we were in that recording scene, we were on a swing. So we're moving over to the next scene after the scene's over. And they come marching up to me. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I forgot to change it. It's my bad. We had intended to change it. It's completely my fault. I'm so sorry. Could have got left there. But instead, they went, you have to change it. And they were very aggressive.
Yeah.
And they had every right to be. Because they thought I was doing it on purpose.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
My response to that could have been better. And I could have said, we will, I'm sorry, and moved on. But instead, something about the aggression made me go, I clicked one step.
Yeah.
Which was, I said, but it's ridiculous, right? I mean, doodle is not a doodle's look, Doodly Squad is not the word doodle, and diddly squad is not the word diddle. So I don't know why we're even having this conversation. I had to defend myself.
Yeah.
Which was the first mistake.
Oh.
The second mistake was she said, you cannot say those words. And they came at me. And I snapped. And I said very loudly, you are out of your mind. At which point, it got real quiet on stage.
Yeah.
And I said, are you telling me I can't say pussycat on this show? And I went at her.
Wow.
And I went, well, maybe you better give that note to Mr. Rogers because I've been watching Henrietta Pussycat since And I just started going. Andrew Green, one of the other lovely writers on the show, literally had to hold me back like I was in a school, ground fight, playground fight. I was going at it. I'm like, diddle is not a penis! And I was shouting. And it was my lowest, most embarrassing moment in Hollywood.
Yeah.
They scoop me away. We finish the run through. We get back to the writer's room. I am being harassed by everyone's making fun of me. I know, it's a long story.
No, you're good.
And we changed it to bupkis, which is a Yiddish word meaning bullshit. We thought it'd be funny for Dolly to say. Standards wouldn't know. And in the end of that piece of the story is on stage on the day they shot, they changed it to the zippy line because they just were vindictive and they didn't want to give us anything that we wanted.
Yeah.
So that I thought was the end of the story. My embarrassed, I'm just horribly guilty that I flew off the handle and I did something stupid and it was just stupid and embarrassing. But it's not the end of the story because the story gets good. The next day, day one of shooting, Thursday morning. First scene up is the scene on the porch where Dolly consoles Miley, who's playing the song. Now, this is the first time we've seen Dolly in costume and makeup, and Dolly is wearing that little pink button up top that she brought herself because she brought all her own wardrobe.
She brings her own stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And they come out on stage after camera blocking for the first time, and she looks amazing, and everyone was down. All the writers came from the writers' room because we had to see Dolly.
Yeah, she's incredible.
Yeah,
And
of course.
it was unbelievable. So they do the scene once for camera, and now they're getting ready to shoot, and everyone's giving, because they did it once for real, and we're giving notes. So everyone is out there. Peterman's giving notes. You're out there giving notes. Everyone's giving notes. And part of my job is to look at the network and standards people and say, do you have anything any notes we should give? And they are.
Oh, boy.
And I lean in and I'm like, do you have anything? And they come back and they go, we think she's great. Dolly's great. Everybody's great. Everybody's great. She leans over the table a couple of times. And can she button one more button, please? Just for modesty's sake. Just because she leans over a couple of times. And I went, oh, sure, yeah. You can give that note.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way I'm giving that note. And I'm like, I no. I said, you are more than welcome to give that note. I am not giving that note. And they were like, and they rushed out to stage. And I'm like, ooh, I can't wait for them to give that note. You know what they did? Rushed right over to Peterman. And they told Peterman, and Peterman, of course, who is now is the nicest man in the world, decides he will give the note. So now we're all huddled around Dolly, and Peterman is there, and Peterman has given all, acting notes and all that stuff. And he goes, one more thing. The network believes, and I'm like, thank God, Steve, you pulled it off. The network believes that, for modesty's sake, if you could just button one more button. And Dolly sort of, it was the longest 1 second in the world where she processed what was happening.
Yeah.
And then she looked at the network and looked back at Peterman and she said, oh, no, darling. No. When you hire Dolly Parton, the girls come too. It's a package deal. And then she sort of walked away and she brushed by the network, not looking at them as she walked away, and passed me. She made eye contact with me and walked by. And I was sort of frozen in that moment. And I realized she was standing there the day before.
Yeah.
She saw me go ballistic she basically was coming to the defense of the writers in that moment. She had our back with her front, so to speak. And it was literally, my mind exploded. I'm like, did Dolly Parton just defend me with that?
With the girls?
With the girls? Did the girls just do that? And it was literally, I've been telling this story for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
It is the greatest. That is my big, huge memory, is that she's so sweet. She's so nice that she came to the defense. She didn't have to. She could have buttoned up. But she came to the defense of the writers because she knew we cared about every word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
of course.
But also, you hire Dolly and it's a package deal. Dolly is Dolly. She brings her own vanity. She brings her own wardrobe. She's like, Dolly is Dolly.
Dolly is Dolly.
So
that's my long, boring story.
fantastic.
Not
Fantastic.
boring, actually.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
But it
it
means
was.
Yeah.
That was. Yeah.
The 3-act saga was worth it.
It was totally worth it.
So what? Now that your memories are refreshed, what leapt out at you, Shanny?
So obviously Dolly Parton is an icon, and meeting her was probably one of the highlights of my time as a person on the show, but also in my career.
Yeah.
Like, getting to work with Dolly truly was, and she is the definition of grace. She's grace personified. She was so warm and inviting. There was no pretense. She didn't there wasn't a moment where she didn't want to talk to anybody. She was any questions that you had for her.
Do you remember that most guest stars we had would swoop in and swoop out?
Yeah.
Right? Do you remember she used to hang out at the quad split while other people were rehearsing?
Yeah.
Just to be there. She was so incredibly nice.
Very present person.
Yeah. And just like it was like she was a member of the family from moment one.
Yeah, and she also loved telling stories too. So if you had any questions about anything, she would forthcoming with anything, any questions that you had, she would tell you, and there was no pretense whatsoever.
I love that. Yeah.
And so anyway, getting to meet her was hands down one of my highlights. In the cold open, I remember the almost kiss in the film noir moment was such a tease for Miley. That like cutting right before, and I remember like every time it was like that the kiss never happened.
She was jonesing for that?
I mean, like
Gross.
Cody is a very good-looking boy.
Yeah.
Back then.
I
man
mean,
now. So,
That's
I
so
mean,
funny.
you gotta,
Yeah.
If We Were a Movie is hands down one of my top 5 favorite songs, and I love like where that song ends up later with Moises and with Corbin Bleu. When
I don't remember.
Yeah, we'll get there. It's season 3, but it was like so funny. Were you mandated to use the closet this week? Was there like a
No, I think it was just wouldn't it be fun to see Dolly in the closet, you know?
Okay.
I actually don't think, and when I saw the episode again, I remember thinking we should put Dolly in the closet because it would be, but I just don't think we did anything with it.
we
didn't use it enough.
It wasn't a scene that needed to be in there, but it was like, I just wonder if there's
I wonder
like
if it was like already built because we were using it in like a block of episodes.
Oh,
so
'cause
since it
they
was like
actually
just
guessed.
staged, it was
Yeah,
standing, like
Could
but
be.
we just thought it was fun to have Dolly there. And then
Yeah.
when she pulls out Dolly's, I love how you accessorize.
Yeah.
That could have been in the living room, but
sure.
I was just wondering, because I always wonder sometimes if there's a mandate on behalf of the network where they're like, hey, can you use this song or can you use this set because they're going to sell toys?
Well, the only time that really happened, and we'll get there, is the tour bus sort of motorhome one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Where they literally came to us with the toy
And said,
design the set that looks like the toy and do an episode about it. Yeah. And we were like, this is a little ass backwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
we have a necklace we want to sell.
Yeah.
So this needs to be a key plot point.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's down the road.
Yeah.
And then did Sally do Oliver's mom?
But that was a question I had. I know she did Oliver's mom in the room and constantly was pitching Oliver's mom, but I have a vague memory that she was the one off stage doing it.
I think
I'm pretty
she
sure
did
she
it.
did.
I did it during run through.
Yeah.
I know I did Oliver's mom's voice during run through, but I recall Sally standing at a mic doing the scratch track like off camera.
It sounds like Sally to me, but then again, my memory is
That is my imperfect memory as well.
Yeah.
That it was ultimately Sally. Like
Yeah. And then did we pre-shoot the stuff with your hair, yours
I'm
and
sure.
Billy's hair
I'm sure,
and
because,
stuff like that?
Because I'm sure we did. Because it's such a long time in the chair to like make those looks. It's
my
like it's
God.
not easy to switch
that was a
that
Thursday
out.
shoot.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
There are other things too. Just like there are key moments while we were shooting that I remember that were just so much fun for the kids, like Miley in the trash can, because we shot that handheld, and like her, like those looks up from the trash can and how much she would laugh and then throwing stuff on her and like somebody
She was
off
always game to
camera.
get messy. She was,
I
like,
know.
totally down. Yeah.
I know. And in that particular moment, it was just her reactions to the things were so pure. And then some of my favorite lines in the series are in this particular episodes, like Robbie Ray, you nosy hillbilly, and hello, I'm Johnny Cash.
That's when Dolly says that.
Yeah. And Rufus A, what? and then
That's on the phone call, Dolly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I know you love, and I love too, the fact we talk about this all the time.
That she
the fact she had her phone in her wig.
In her wig. This is very funny.
when you have pants as tight as mine, you got to keep it somewhere.
Yeah, it's very funny.
And then
that may have been a Dolly pitch.
I'm sure it was.
I think it was a Dolly. I think she pitched
her pitch may have been here, but then
Yeah.
S&P wouldn't let it.
Oh,
so it was
actually,
like,
you're absolutely
I'm
right.
almost positive that's what it was.
No, that's
and then, so
exactly
they're
what
like,
it
well,
was.
we'll just stick it in the wig then.
Yeah, because then she was like, well, where the hell else am I going to put it except for
Right.
right here?
Yeah.
And then that between the two of you.
We have the best sounds on the show.
And then like the end of the scene where the milkshake goes in the hole and she's like, I got it good. And then it's strawberry. Oh, my favorite. Like Dolly was such a good improvisationalist.
It's almost like she'd been in the entertainment industry for years.
I know.
Longer than any of us have been alive.
Yeah.
And then why didn't you tell me that? You didn't tell me that before? Because I wanted to wear the cool outfit. And then Billy Ray's, I'm so ranky I can taste my own stanky. Yep. Anyway, there's just so much that we had so much fun that week.
Yeah.
And she just really was a delight, and everybody loved having her around.
Yeah, I agree. I bring it up a little bit later. A couple of those same comments or lines from the show. There's just so many really, really funny, memorable, goofy things in this. For me, the stuff that was sort of refreshed when I watched this in the cold open, as Oliver and Lily are making that farewell video for the principal.
Yeah.
There's a quick joke, and then off screen, a group of students drill the principal with wads of crumpled paper.
Yeah.
And he gets hit like 4 times in a row. It's like, bap, 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 bap. And then a beat later, bap, and one comes in like at 90 miles an hour and just drills him. And it's paper, so it doesn't hurt or whatever. But like, but this happens so much on these kid shows. You have never seen people get so excited as when they're picking who's going to throw things at the actors on camera.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Like, if everybody's volunteering.
Oh, for sure.
And that's why you want to be really nice to the crew when you're an actor, because when it comes time for them to be chucking shoes or balls or wads of paper, you want them to be gentle and not go for the face.
I'm not embarrassed to say that I was always one of the first to volunteer that
Like,
I
I'll do
could
it.
throw shit at people.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it on Kicking It once, and the first AD, I don't know if I'd said something to him that day or whatever, but it was a wrestling episode where I'm fighting a big wrestler or whatever, and the crowd's upset and they throw shoes. And the first AD was literally like 6 feet away, right off camera, and he wings a shoe and drills me in the face with it. And I was like, what on earth is going? But like, he was so happy. He was so happy.
I have a friend that produces Wipeout, and I was never happier than when he handed me and my kids stuff to throw at them as they were going by, and just we were, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever.
There's something so
Such a joy
primal
in it.
about it. Yeah. But so anyway, that immediately I was just like, oh, that's a funny behind the scenes thing. Miley. With her daydream about Jake Ryan, and she imagines, that she's gonna kiss him. Gross, like I said. I always thought that Miley and Emily were so funny when they would do like either those dream sequences or the flashbacks, or anytime they were like making that shared face, and like it's a small thing that we do so much throughout the series, but it always makes me laugh, and it's sort of like when you have those little things about your partner that you like. Katie, my wife, she chews chips louder than anybody I've ever met. It's shocking. But then, like, if I'm not around her for a while, the thing that I miss is listening to her chomp on chips. It's like an endearing little thing.
Yeah.
And there's little things like this is an endearing thing about Hannah. Just those girls with the flashbacks and the faces they make, it always just makes me so
I love that.
So happy. So we do get Dolly in this episode. For me, this was a really pivotal moment and changed the way that I looked at the show. In that we were doing the fact that Vicki Lawrence was our mama, and then Dolly Parton is playing our Aunt Dolly. It was like I was suddenly working with a caliber of actor that had accomplished things that like were so outside my scope of experience. I just was like, I can't believe I get to work with people that have accomplished this much stuff. And it made me feel like, oh, I'm not doing like a Disney show that nobody knows or cares about. This is something, bigger than that. And Dolly was a huge part of that. I do have a Dolly clarification question though.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Miley is Dolly's goddaughter.
Yes.
We call her Aunt Dolly. There is no biological relation.
No.
It's not like
she's not a member of the Stewart family.
Okay, and then so is our Aunt Dolly in the show Dolly Parton? In our universe, is she the same person as our Dolly Parton, but she just happens to have Stewart family experiences? Or is she like some sort of like multiverse Dolly, where she's like Dolly Parson instead of Dolly Parton?
That's a really good question. I always thought she was Dolly Parton.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Dolly
I
Parton
thought too.
and Robbie Ray was a star. Like it was in that sort of Tennessee country music family, like, or that world. We had always thought she was Dolly, because my big problem with this episode has to do with why doesn't Jake recognize her?
Yeah.
Right.
Because to me, she's Dolly Parton.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, that's who she is.
That was one of the reasons why I was like sort of questioning, like, well, what is the actual truth here? Like,
because
if
she is, because later on we talk about the relationship with Elvis and all that stuff. She's
She is Dolly Parton.
She's
Yeah.
Dolly Parton.
I knew that she was like Dolly, and she was famous, and she was a musician and all that stuff. But like, I didn't know if it was like if we bent the truth of what her lore as a musician is, or if it's
No, we just made I made the assumption always she was Dolly Parton.
okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. But
And that's
but
why
the
she's
Jake
godmother and not actually,
okay.
aunt.
You're right.
The Jake thing was the reason why I was like, well, I have to ask this, because maybe I
No.
was misthinking of it the whole time.
Yeah.
So speaking of Dolly, I love that Dolly immediately knows what's going on with Miley.
Yes.
In a matter of 90 seconds, we establish how close those two actually are. Like, what a present godmother she actually is. Like, you recognize that Dolly is 100% ride or die with Miley.
Yep.
And since Dolly is somebody who has like either sang about or written a song about every single experience or emotion a person could experience,
Yes.
she is like the perfect person to like be there and be supportive and help Miley through this pretty big crisis that she's going through. The thing that I do love about her is she's playful and she's silly and she has a lot of countryisms that she says.
Right.
And yet she somehow manages to still have a ridiculous amount of gravitas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's weight to her words, even though she's talking about crazy, silly. Like, everything is almost an Uncle Earl joke. It's so silly. But, like, it never, I don't know, it just never feels, like, trite or cheesy. It's just so Dolly that you go, oh, this is perfect.
Of course. Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing. She has the same thing that Billy has. She has it, this unbelievable version of it, but it is the ability to just be yourself
Yeah.
in every moment. And she can bring that honesty, no matter how goofy we wrote. She did it just real.
Yeah.
And it was great.
And she's such a broad person anyway that, like, you could it's almost like, like, she's not like a caricature.
Right.
That's just who she is.
Right.
And because it's who she is, it's just grounded and real, even though it's silly and fun. And yeah, it's great. I thought it was really funny when Jackson was leaving to go to school and he was complaining to Dolly about how good his shirt smells. And Dolly's making a video for all the folks back home in Tennessee.
Right.
And so Jackson hops on the video and he's like, hey, everybody, when the guys get a whiff of me, I'm going to get beat up today. Bye. And Dolly's response is literally just, well, at least you got a good look at him before it happens. I'm like, there is nobody in this universe that is ever remotely concerned about Jackson's well-being.
No.
He's just like, he's a man on an island going through having this completely different experience. But I thought it was a really funny response from Dolly. I do love how Lily is still in love after all this time with everything that's in Hannah's closet. Mm-hmm. So even when Miley's freaking out over Jake potentially seeing her confession on tape, Lily still appreciates a cute handbag.
Yeah.
I just think it's such a cute little character consistency that I love. And then my last sort of takeaway for my general overall watching was I was so personally thrilled that I got to do scenes with Dolly.
Oh my God.
I was always so shy when we had really big guest stars on the show, especially if I wasn't in the scenes with them. I felt like I was bothering them. So like when The Rock was on, I think I said 3 words to him. I was like, hey, welcome to the show. Can we have a picture? And like that's like all I said because I didn't have any scenes with him. But the fact that I got to do stuff with Dolly, it just made it really nice. More comfortable to like chat with her and get stories and And it was just, it was definitely a highlight that I got to do scenes with her
Yeah.
in this episode. I was really thrilled with
And
it.
I'll say, like, as an acting coach or even as a director, when you have to work with somebody that is that, like, in the stratosphere in terms of who they are, their fame, and their, you know, what they've achieved, there's a certain, there's a shyness to me, especially if it's somebody that I truly admire, but I have a job to do. So having to get out there and, like, getting to run lines with Dolly was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And she wanted to get word perfect, but she would also say things like, I would never say that. So, like, later in season 4, there was a line that she had, and she was like, I would never say bowels. I would say innards. And it was cool, say innards, you know, like, same with Larry David. But it was just having one-on-one time with somebody like that just is one of those moments that I just felt like I wanted to capture in a bottle and hold on to for the rest of my life.
They're like career highlights for sure. Really memorable stuff. So let's jump into the what we did right, what we did wrong, what we did different. Ton right in this one. What left out of you,
It's
Doug?
a laundry list of what we did right. Dolly, I mean, seriously, it's a really good episode. I think the story was great.
Yeah.
The idea that we ended the story without satisfaction, where we had to tell the audience, you don't always get what you want.
Yep.
You know, she missed the train by not being honest. She missed, like, I love the fact that we were allowed to tell that story. We always like to talk about Hannifying it with that deeper moment and making that left turn.
Yeah.
Well, the left turn was she got the tape back, problem solved, plot over, right?
Yeah.
But then we went to the deeper place, which was tell the truth, everything will work out. Unless it doesn't, which was, I thought was great. I love the banjo transition.
Oh my God, I noticed that right away. So good.
The transition music is usually, whoa, 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 and it was the banjo one for Dolly, which was great. I had a dog at that time in my life named Rufus, so I named Dolly's dog Rufus, and that was huge for me personally to have her talking about her dog Rufus, and then the Rufus ate what, and all that stuff was just personally gratifying for me. And then the fact that we got, or let's be honest, I got, because I was the only one fighting for it, I got Dolly to do a dog fart joke.
Yeah.
I was like, I just got Dolly Parton to say a dog fart joke. I mean, it was like crazy.
You're such a child.
I am a huge child.
Yeah.
And then the other thing we did right, when we had them on the couch at the end singing.
Yes.
Here was my takeaway from that. And it was a big moment for me in the series. You have Billy Ray Cyrus, huge star. You have Dolly Parton, international superstar.
Yeah.
And at the time, remember, we're, 20 episodes into season one?
Season 1.
Yeah.
And you have Miley, who's 13 years old. I'm not going to say she held her own. She outshone them in that song. She stood out from them. Now, granted, it's her song. She's sung it before, yada, yada. But when she could hold her own with those two on the couch, I went, holy shit, this girl's good. Yeah. We already knew she was good, but there's a whole different level of good. And singing acoustically is hard.
Yeah.
And they didn't have a lot of time to rehearse. They just wing that.
They did.
She was so good. I was like, oh my God, this girl is so good.
Yeah.
That was my takeaway from it. And then my last thing that I thought was great was in that final tag, we only had a very limited amount of time to shoot it, and your cucumbers are falling off.
Racing down my face.
Oh my God.
And you guys just improv'd, and we were like, go, say whatever you want, do whatever you do.
Sure.
And it just worked, and I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was a really cute tag. It did strike me. I'm like, man, I sure eat a lot of stuff off my own face and out of other people's hair and off the ground and just
Robbie ate a fry off of Adam Miley's hair.
Yeah,
So.
I'll pretty much stick anything in my mouth in this episode.
All right, what do you think we did right?
You mentioned the quote earlier. I love it when Dolly calls Robbie Ray a nosy hillbilly, and Robbie's like, "I'm not a nosy hillbilly. I'm a concerned hillbilly father."
Yeah.
All those sorts of lines, they always really worked with me, and I think what I loved about them is it always felt like they were sort of poking fun at themselves.
Sure.
And we were never laughing at people from Tennessee or country bumpkins or whatever the stuff is. It was always laughing with it. It felt like it was a lighthearted, non-mean-spirited, we're all in on the joke.
Sure.
And they were just really, really good at that.
Right.
I thought it was crazy that Dolly knows who Jake Ryan is in this world.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really fun way to sort of highlight how famous Jake actually is.
Sure.
And the fact that like she didn't have an overwhelmingly negative reaction to him.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? The fact that she is kind of into that and supporting Miley planting her flag and making that claim, that does more in my eyes to like half root for Miley ending up with Jake than anything Jake ever says in the series.
Sure.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It lends more credibility to that argument than almost anything else that happens.
Yeah.
So I thought that was like an interesting, probably unintended consequence of having Dolly in the episode and being involved in that. But it actually like, it made me root for it a little bit more than I normally would have. And I do think that she delivers his catchphrase better than he does.
I can remember distinctly when on that day when she had to say the line, she didn't know. And so I made Cody say the line for Dolly
Dude,
the way
I slayed you once,
wants.
don't make me slay you again.
Yeah, so she had to say it.
Yeah.
He said it for her so that she could.
And hers was more believable. I liked it. I think this episode, we've talked about it a bit, is we have a bunch of great themes. That whole idea of, Dolly saying that if you keep yourself out of the game for fear of losing, then there's no way on earth you're ever going to win.
Yeah.
Like you, I've always believed that. When I first moved to LA to try to be an actor, I had a banner on my phone that every time I turned it on, I would see it and it would read, "Why not me?" Because it's such a it's a 1 in a million shot for but somebody's got to get the role,
right?
Somebody's got to get noticed, and so the idea that sometimes you just have to put yourself out there in a way, take a chance on yourself, is a really important life lesson that a lot of people just never pull the trigger on themselves that way,
right?
And so I love that theme. Dolly and Robbie being there for her in the final scene is so sweet. They do such a great job. And we do this more than a lot of other shows, I feel like, where we let the person who's learning the lesson get there on their own. They talk their own way through it.
Sure.
And they just sort of gently guide it. But it's not like Robbie saying, well, this is the lesson you're supposed to learn. And she goes, yes, Dad, that is the lesson that I learned. She's figuring it out and they're just sort of there to support. And I love that so much.
Yeah.
I do love that at the end she did pull the trigger on wanting to put herself out there and tell Jake how she felt. And I think it was really important that it didn't work out. Yeah. For all the reasons that you've said. I think we had to show that she doesn't have invincible plot armor. I think a lot of shows make the mistake of saying, well, you're our star, so you're always right, or it always works out for you in the end. Right. You need the actual peril of, hey, even though her life is incredible and aspirational and something that I would love to do as a young, girl. Right. It doesn't always work out. And there's something relatable and likable about that. And
there's a side note to that in our 20 years later, which is back then, and a lot of the audience remembers this, but a lot doesn't. Episodes were week to week. Yeah. You as an audience watched Miley fail and then had to live with that disappointment for a week. Yeah. Right? It wasn't like now where you can just go to the next episode. She gets with Jake. In 20 minutes, she's with Jake. Right? Because you're just binge watching. And that's the way everything is now. But back then, you had to live for a week with that disappointment. And networks and studios didn't want that. Right. And we had to fight for that. Yeah. Right. Well, the audience was going to not have a happy feeling.
Yeah. And I think it was worth that fight. Because it is the thing that sort of again, makes her not just this perfect person. You do root for her and love her a little bit more because you see the struggle. Right. I think the B story is super fun, silly. The fact that we're fighting all that Dolly girly stuff, and our solution is to go to the gym and try to be man stinky is so silly. You mentioned the "I'm so ranky, I taste my own stanky." Such a funny line, and I actually think there's a really good message here because the boys end up caving and realizing that Dolly was right all along. So it's don't be so obsessed with being manly that you deny taking good care of yourself. Right. Right? It applies to your hygiene. It applies to your mental health. Take good care of yourself. Yes. Don't be so toxically I gotta be a dude that you don't take care of those things. So I loved that little story. You had mentioned the hair of it all. Those poodle hair. Yes, that's our real hair. There's no wigs, and it took a bit of teasing to get that to get that going. And
Brenda and Melanie, shouts out to Brenda and Melanie in the makeup trailer, hair and makeup trailer.
We absolutely crushed the hair bits on this show.
Yeah.
And then I really love the whole Dolly going full Mission Impossible bit.
Oh my God.
It's all so silly.
Right.
But it works for me. It's whether
Yeah.
she picks the lock with her fingernail and the having the double do all the flips and the crazy stuff. It's so silly, but it's almost like the dummy drops.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
It's like it's so fantastical, but I don't even care. It's so funny.
Yeah.
And then the best thing is we do get Dolly also, in addition to your dog fart jokes, she gives us a sweet niblets in this episode,
I know.
which was like perfect.
So good. Yeah. And I remember with the stunt person, Dolly always has a double of her wig. And so the stunt person got to wear Dolly Parton's wig.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that it was styled in a way so that it wouldn't fall off her head. But yeah, Dolly was like, you can wear mine. And so it was just
so
like,
sweet.
it was just everything
awesome.
about, and I love, it's one of my things that I love, not necessarily in just kids TV, but in, television, when you know that it's like so impossible that person is not, but it feels right. I don't know. It just is so good. So good.
What did you think we did right?
Dolly with the camera, like putting the camera down, and like it all felt so natural. And I know that bit has been done before, but it's just, there was something about it that felt organic in the moment that was so great, because it rarely works, but here it did. And the stunt person was wonderful. Okay, the three of them singing on the couch in 3-part harmony. We shot that in front of the audience, by the way.
Yeah.
And they worked it out in the moment.
Yeah, they
in
didn't
real
rehearse
time.
that.
In
No,
real time.
it was not. It was just them in the moment, and I think Dolly was no doubt leading them, but it was like, okay, I'll take this part, you take that part, and you take that part. So 3-part harmony is not easy, and them just being able to do it in an instant was so good. And then, just, I can't say enough about Dolly, but also her improvisational skills are incredible. Like she just, give her something to do, she'll button a scene any way that she needs to.
Yeah.
That in order to make it feel like a complete moment. Yeah. So
she's just so gosh darn charming that like
so
anything
good.
she says works.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's point out a couple of things that we did wrong. For me, we absolutely hammer this into the ground every time, so we don't need to spend any time whatsoever on it. But while Hannah's in the studio recording, if we were a movie, she does call Robbie Daddy again.
Yeah.
Highlighting, yet again, the worst creative decision in the history of television. It's just, every time we point it out, it just gets it's infuriating.
That argument was the studio guy knows the truth.
Who cares?
The entire town in Tennessee knows.
I know the audience is tired of hearing us, but I'll point it out every time. We don't have to talk about it, but the worst creative decision in the history of television.
Well, I'll go the opposite. My what we did wrong, because I don't think we did much wrong in this, is the opposite recognition, which is, okay, so Dolly recognizes, oh my God, the vampire slayer. But Dolly's not in costume when they break in to the school. When they do this. So Jake is talking to Dolly and doesn't recognize Dolly Parton.
We may have the same reaction.
Yeah. She's in
Mission
disguise.
She's in a Dolly Parton in a black jumpsuit.
Not even that. As we've established, Jake is such a douche nozzle that like he doesn't know who Dolly Parton is.
Okay,
do you know what I mean?
I'll buy
He's
that.
so like vapid and so into his own world, and like nothing exists outside the sphere of Jake, that like he doesn't even know who Dolly Parton is.
Okay, so I'll buy he's such a freaking idiot.
Okay.
That he does. But I was like, even when we were doing it, I was like,
it's crazy. It is crazy.
And they were like, no, he's a kid. Kids don't know. I'm like, bullshit.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But she's the janitor, obviously.
Oh yeah, that's what janitors look like.
Okay, what did we do wrong, Shannon?
Okay, I'm sorry, but the film noir thing, just
didn't work for you.
No, it's just like it just
everything Miley does works for me.
I mean, but it just felt like
it's cheesy.
I know.
Yeah.
And then why was Jackson at home when Miley was at school? Like, I don't know, maybe different, whatever.
I probably got suspended.
You ditched.
I ditched.
I just always find those little things that are nitpicky to me. But it's also like, why is Jake in school? after dark.
I thought the same thing.
Everything's
Yeah.
locked up.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
And
Not
the-
a single person.
Not a single person is there. Dolly has to unlock the school with her nail, and but Jake is in there,
Yeah.
no problem. If she had to explain to Jake that Oliver took the wrong camera with the wrong tape in it, that could have ended the whole story. Right? Because she goes up to him, she wants to get the tape back.
Yeah.
But the thing is if she had just said to him,
It's the wrong tape.
Hey, you got the wrong tape because Oliver took my Aunt Dolly's.
It's her vacation video. I need that back.
Right.
Here's the actual yeah.
Right. And then he would have seen stuff from Billy Ray that said like, hey, everybody, or he would have seen Jackson saying,
Yeah.
I'm going to go get beat up now.
Yeah.
Like he would have seen all that stuff before he got
Yeah.
to Miley's confession. So
Run through the bees.
yeah, run
Yeah.
through the beast.
Yeah.
I know.
That's
I know.
good.
I
All
just, it wouldn't have worked any other way.
But
But
and
it's
as far as different, like I mean, that's I not much.
No.
yeah, no.
It's a fun episode.
The only thing I would do different is have Dolly in every episode. I mean,
Agree.
literally,
100%.
Yeah, I would have said, "Hey, just stay here."
Yeah. Yep.
You know
Yep.
what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep. Yeah.
Because it was just so
Right.
unbelievable.
But she had to get back in her Winnebago and then drive through
Yeah.
In-N-Out Burger, which is what she did every time she came out.
Yep.
She had to go by to the In-N-Out Burger
And
that
now
was
there's an
on.
In-N-Out Burger in Tennessee.
Interesting. I wonder who
What
did
would
that.
you do different?
I definitely Dolly in every episode, but we shot this in front of an audience. We shot this particular scene where she had the camera on you and Billy Ray this week, but we did so much great stuff with like handheld camera that was intercut into the episode. I wish we could have gotten that with you guys. Like I wish we could have. It would have been really funny to see Jackson in the camera saying, "I'm gonna go get beat up now, bye,"
yeah,
and then
you're right.
and then Dolly turning it to her and say, "Well," because that kind of stuff. Whenever you can intercut that kind of that footage, I just always think it elevates
That's a good pitch.
Yeah.
the look of the episode.
Good pitch. I like that.
Yeah.
Me too.
So we're getting here toward the end. We got a couple of audience questions.
Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Quack on Instagram asks, I have a question for your next podcast episode. Sounds like you guys had a pretty tight rehearsal filming schedule. What happened when one of the main actors got sick? Would you just work around them as best you could or postpone filming till the next week? The in general answer was you soldier on, and unless organs are outside your body, you are going to be shooting in front of a live studio audience.
There was a contingency plan. We did have insurance. So
Right.
there was a contingency
Did we
plan
take
to
an insurance day? I feel like
once.
maybe once we
I
did.
think we took an insurance day once where we shut down production for a day.
Yeah.
And then we worked on a Saturday. You know, we would shut down on Wednesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday would become Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
And we just had to do it.
I
And
remember-
the insurance would pay for that money.
I remember there's an episode that I really like. It's where Miley and I are trapped in Thor's truck on the teetering edge.
yeah.
And I was sick as a farting
You can
dog.
hear it.
And you can hear it in my voice. I barely have enough voice to like get through that episode. And so that's one that I remember very distinctly. I was like on death's doorstep, and I feel like there was an episode where Miley was really sick or migraine. She was in the salad bar. Do you remember her being wedged?
Oh, yeah.
in the
That was the bully episode, Schooly Bully.
Yeah.
And I believe that she was really, really sick when we were doing that episode.
Probably,
And again, just sort of soldiered.
Yeah, you can be
There
sick on the
was-
weekends.
It's a
kids.
different time now. I think they take that a little more seriously. But and literally, unless you were like stage 4 cancer, you were like going to be on set, and you were going to be.
That was obvious. That was what the insurance was for. So.
Yeah. Okay, Dougie. Why is our episode titled what it is? I think we know.
Why is it titled Masturbation, Penis, and Boobs? Because that's what, diddly doodly and the girls mean, isn't it? I mean, everybody knows that.
Standards and practices.
Yep. We love our S&P. Anyway,
Yeah.
so now you know why we call it Diddly Doodly and the Girls.
Diddly doodly and the girls.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm gonna take us home with a couple of important Dolly facts for anybody who is interested.
Yeah.
If you don't know, Dolly Parton has written over 3,000 songs. That's a lot of songs. Shockingly, two of her most famous songs ever. Probably she's made more money off these two songs than almost anything else.
Yep.
She wrote Jolene and I Will Always Love You in the same afternoon in 1972.
Oh my God.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
She debuted on the Grand Ole Opry stage at the age of 13, and she was introduced by Johnny Cash, another
God.
massive legend. And you've heard of the EGOT before,
Yep.
Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. She has achieved across the board wild recognition, 11 Grammy Awards out of 54 nominations.
Wow.
Including a Lifetime Achievement Award. She has a Primetime Emmy Award. She's been nominated twice for Academy Awards, and she has a nomination for a Tony as well. In 2024, Billboard officially crowned her the #1 country artist of all time with 26 #1 hits on the Billboard country charts. And Dolly Parton also holds the record for any musical artist with 49 career top 10 country albums. Not songs, albums.
Wow.
And she has more than 100 million units sold worldwide. Wow. And that is our Aunt Dolly on the show.
And
How
I feel
crazy is
even
that?
more intimidated.
Yeah,
that
I know.
got to.
And you would never know it by hanging
Nope.
out with her. She
Not
is
at all.
the sweetest human being.
Not at all.
I think we did it.
Yeah, we
right?
did it.
Oh
Whoever
my
asked
God.
for the 3-hour-long episode got it.
You got it.
Welcome.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. If you want to keep watching the pod on YouTube, please subscribe to Best of Both Our Worlds YouTube channel. It helps us a lot if you will engage with it. Leave us a comment, give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, share it with your friends, tell 2 people to watch an episode and have them tell 2 people, and then pretty
So
much
on
the
and
only
so
thing,
on
and so on and so on. You know, you get how pyramid scheme works.
It's well a balsam. It's a shampoo scheme.
Please follow us on Instagram at Best of Both Our Worlds Podcast, on TikTok at Best of Both Our Worlds, and on X if you hate yourself.
Oh!
I'd love to shout out the website, bestofbothourworlds.com. Check us out. We got cool merch. We got some behind-the-scenes photos and videos and stuff. So check it out. It's super fun. This has been Best of Both Our Worlds, created and hosted by Jason Earls, by Douglas Danger Lieblein, by Shannon Flynn, executive producer Renee Colvert, produced by Jeff Murphy, filmed, edited, and finished at Quest Pacifica, with special thanks to Katie Boyum and Lee Anthony Smith. Our graphic design director is Gina Murphy. Original music is by Joe Serafini, and social media strategy is by Shelby Stahl and Beloved Social.
Yes.
And with that,
And with that, I say, good day, Daddy. I said good day. Woo! Woo!
We need to go. We do need to go to Dollywood.
Yeah,
We
we,
do need to
do.
go to Dollywood.
Dollywood,
Dollywood
is
vacation.
a must-do.
let's go right now.
All right.
Okay,
Let's
Let's go.
Thanks.
We're gonna-
Back up the bus.
Best of both